Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining again. I'm Greg Audino, and this is episode 286 of Optimal Living Advice, the podcast on which I take your questions about love, life, and almost everything in between, and try to help you out the best that I can. Thank you so much for being here on a Monday and starting your week off with us. And this time, we're going to be hearing a question from a woman who is, well, she's in the oft unprepared for position of being the parent to a bully. Now, this is something new for her young child, and she's looking for a helping hand as she manages this certainly unexpected behavior. So let's hear what she's got for us and see what we can do to help as we optimize your life. My 5-year-old, who just started kindergarten, got into his first fight at school. He came home with scratches. The first day, when I asked him what happened, he would say that he forgot. On the second day, after a few attempts and letting him know to tell me when he was ready, he finally said that he verbally claimed that the slide was his, and the other student told him it's not his. My son proceeded to tell me that he hit the student and that the student hit back, and after a few punches, the student scratched his face and took off when my son started to cry. I'm not sure how to handle this, as I don't tolerate bullying. My son was recently in T-ball, where they addressed bullying, so he can comprehend that bullying is bad. I've told him that he will need to apologize to the other student. We've also watched YouTube short videos of bullying to help educate him, and I remind him every day that bullying is not being kind. I'm considering putting him in karate just so there is discipline when it comes to learning how to calm down. Your input would do me wonders. Sincerely, failed single mom. Okay, definitely a different question to have here on the show. Thanks so much for confiding in us, and of course, thank you for continuing to try and remedy this situation rather than blindly defending your child or sweeping it under the rug. It's really wonderful to see you so proactive, and for that reason, I'm going to respectfully reject your failed single mom moniker, and instead call you hardworking, brave mom doing her best. I think that's both gentler and truer, isn't it? Sure. So, I have some thoughts about bullying that I will offer up to start things off. The reasons that children bully one another, they aren't so different from the reasons that adults bully one another. Child bullying is just usually way less subtle. It stems from misplaced feelings of shame and fear, weakness, insignificance, just a general sense of insecurity. So it's worth it to think about how and why your child might be experiencing these kinds of feelings, enough to act in an aggressive way for the sake of regaining a sense of power. I would also consider what the role of ownership in particular might mean to him. Again, children and adults alike are most prone to attacking the parts of others that they feel they're lacking. So if your son is demanding rights to this slide, what might the slide do for him? Is it a prized possession that he takes pride in calling his because something else has been taken away from him at home, and he's been made to feel that he doesn't have very much to his name? Or does owning the slide place him in high social status, something he might be seeking now that he's in a newer, bigger school than ever before, and therefore a really small fish in a big pond? But these are my thoughts. I always have thoughts. And I should really stop there, because I'm not a child psychologist. It would be pretty irresponsible of me to talk much further about what might be going on with your son or what steps to take. And I know that that might not be what you want to hear, but I can't be the last stop on your journey to figuring this out and helping your child to get to a place of contentment. The ideas that you put out seem really effective, though, and they seem like steps that I would take if I were in your shoes. Addressing this compassionately while still holding him accountable is huge. Karate or other activities that stand to educate him on regulating his emotions, like mindfulness or meditation, they also feel like really great steps to take. But when it comes to helping your child through his bullying, talking to someone who specializes in this, like a child psychologist or a principal maybe, will likely be the most helpful thing that you can do. Now, that being said, we're not here to just help your child through his bullying. We also need to help you through helping your child through his bullying. And that is something that I am prepared to do. You didn't say anything about how you're feeling necessarily outside of that dastardly name that you gave yourself. So I just want to deliberately make space for whatever is going through your mind and just issue some reminders. First of all, nobody envisions this for their careers in parenthood. Nobody hopes to be the parent of a bully any more than they hope to be divorced, for example. We all assume or hope to be the exception of what we perceive to be certain no-nos. But that can't be the case for all of us, and this is often due to circumstances out of our control. But what's much more troublesome than finding yourself in this type of position is letting this position define you, perhaps so strongly that you resort to blame and self-victimization rather than seeing your way out of it. That's a fight that we really can't give up, and giving it up can feel easier and easier the longer it takes for us to either accept ourselves and our circumstances or change ourselves and our circumstances. But you mustn't allow that for yourself or your child. You've been called to keep fighting, and I know that you will, which is why failed single mom just didn't fit. So whatever you're feeling about this situation that you're in, know that it's important and helpful for you to keep moving forward and seeking out the help of the right sources. What is not helpful, and what creeps more towards the idea of failure that you falsely labeled yourself with, is to mistakenly think that this is a stain on the permanent record of you or your son. To be a bully in kindergarten, or the mother of a bully in kindergarten, is not a life sentence. You've both done and will do very admirable things in this life. And many of them will be informed by how you handle this minor hiccup in front of you right now. So regardless of how this plays out, I would suggest committing to bringing a sense of grace and composure each step of the way. Grace and composure with the parents of the son he initiated a fight with, should they challenge you. Grace and composure towards anyone at the school who doesn't do their part to resolve this. Grace and composure to your son as he, in his young age, inevitably struggles to understand his feelings and channel them in a healthy way. And then, of course, grace and composure to yourself, a mother who is clearly trying her best and can't do everything right, any more than any mom can. Okay, hardworking, brave mom doing her best. And I thank you for sending this question in. Again, I apologize if you came here looking for something more finite and didn't get it. But as you continue on your path in search of some concrete answers, I hope that you can be kind to yourself and that my answer today helps you to do that and not lose that part of you in the journey. It's time to wrap up for now, though. So for everyone else, if you've got something on your mind and you'd like my help with it, please do reach out. You can email your questions into advice@oldpodcast.com. Advice@oldpodcast.com. That is the place to be. You'll definitely hear back, and I look forward to being in touch with you. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, folks, and I'll see you in the next episode, where your optimal life awaits.